Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Receiver FG back with another video. Today, we're going to be looking at some 2K, the best 3 builds I think you can make starting off the game. These builds, I don't know if they'll be successful all year, but I'm sure starting off the game, we're going to need builds like these. Just builds to understand and learn how the game works, and then that's when you find the crazy builds that work really good a little bit later on in the year after you get more used to the game. So, just getting used to the game, this is the first build I made. You saw the badges, crazy badges like 62 or 61 I think it was, and then this is going to be a slashing build. See, this build is kind of controversial because if you can't shoot with a low 3-pointer like they're saying, then the build might be terrible, but if you still can shoot with a low 3, then that build's going to be really good, for sure. So yeah, but I showed how to make that build, and for these last 2 builds I'm actually going to show like the pie chart and everything I picked. But the first build's probably gonna be my build because I think you'll still be able to shoot with a low 3. They say you're not going to be able to do that every year. Then 2K19 pure locks for shooting 3s in the corner, shooting 3s from hash, come on now. Then 2K20 two-way slashing playmakers with 65, 67 3-pointers are dominating. You know, you saw some max wingspan two-way slashing plays come out towards the end, and they were still shooting good. So, yeah. But right here, second build, obviously just a play shot, normal build from last year. These builds are always going to be pretty good. You know, the top best scorers will dominate almost every event with these builds, and it's pretty good in Park too. I mean, they just dominate all around. They're really good scoring builds, and I think there's potentially 2 ways you can make the build. Right here, the first way is just looking at, you know, max shooting badges. You don't really need a lot of driving on this build. Like, to me, how I would make it is I was just max close or max driving layup, and that's pretty much it. Maybe something like you're seeing me try to look and find a way to get extra badges, but kind of like last year, it's going to be hard to get extra badges on a build like this. So it's tough for sure. I mean, I'm not really sure that it's worth even investing much into finishing. Maybe something like this at most. Have a little close shot fade that you can still do if you have your close shot up, and then you have your driving layup up just so you can shoot a layup. But I don't really see any need for you having to work on your finishing to get badges for this build. So obviously right now I'm taking forever. I found a way to get some finishing badges, but as you can see, it's just too much work. It's way too much work right here. You know, you either have a little bit of finishing and then lose out on like 10 between 10 shooting and playmaking combined. It's like 8 exactly, but it's just not worth it really, in my opinion. What I think the best way you're going to be able to do this build is here in a second. You're going to take off this finishing, take off driving dunk, take off standing dunk, put your post fade max back out, get 25 shooting, get up to 23 playmaking, and get a 7th defensive. I'm about to show how to do that right now, and I think that's definitely the best way to make this build. So right here, 25 shooting like I said, and the reason I'm going to get confused for a second is because of the fact that you can take off 3 of your post fade and still have 25. So right here I'm trying to find out how to get it to 7 and 23, but I just can't remember. So, and yeah, you can get to a max of 24, but I would rather have the 1 extra defensive badge. That's just my opinion. I think defensive badges are a little more important this year. So as we see, dumb receiver, can't figure out why I'm not able to get this extra defensive right now. I'm so dumb. I don't even notice that you can just take a little off post fade. There I go. Oh my goodness, you remembered. There we go. That's the build pretty much right there. 25, 23, and 7. And yeah, no extra way to get any more badges that I saw. But not bad build. About 54 badges, I think, or 55 with the finishing, not sure. So definitely decent build there. For weight, I would just go 1 off of to where you stay with 90 speed, so exactly right there. And then wingspan, I guess you could do a couple different things. Like if you think that this will mess up your defense too much, you can not go minimum, and you could just stay at balance, but I think minimum is pretty good for that build. Last year I had the place shot, and yeah, whenever I stayed minimum wingspan, I was still fine. Just let the lock guard ball, man. Not your job, right? That's what everyone does in 2K. They're just like, let the lock guard the ball. He's got it. But yeah, so right here, last build. And I'm thinking about making this my primary build. It was a pretty good build to start the year last year. It's just a pure play pie chart, obviously, as you can see. And yeah, I think there's a way to make this build look somewhat decent. I mean, you get a ton of playmaking badges, so even if you're not going to be the most dominant scorer in the world, then you can still get your teammates around you that are open shots, and you can ISO, and there's a good amount of things you can do with this build. Plus, the two-way slash and play was nerfed so bad I didn't put it in the video. I mean, it doesn't even get contact dunks anymore. So I'm not really sure what build that you can go to that's going to be the best, but I don't think this is going to be the most dominant builds all year long. Like I said, I just think they'll be good, consistent builds to start the year off. I mean, as you can see, like, you're starting the year off with 29 playmaking badges. You're going to be able to make plays. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do right there. So this is pretty much the build right here. And then there's two ways that I think you can make it. One is at 6'5", it looks good. But at 6'7", right here, this might be the small forward way to make it, but this will be a good build too. So if you make a 6'7" point guard, people aren't going to realize that right off the rip that you're 6'7". So that's one way to make it, and then you just minimize your wingspan. I think I end up showing it. Yeah, I do. So I'll just put my weight down to, or maybe I don't show it. So yeah, 6'7" though. Take one off of, or take your wingspan down till you're at 86 ball control, and then yeah, I mean, you have a 6'7" speed boosting point guard. That's a pretty good build in my opinion. It's the pure play, pretty much a point forward from other years, but at 6'7". So there it is. I show off the build. That's how you make a point forward if that's what you wanted. But you can also just make it the traditional 6'5" way and kind of have whatever build you want. So yeah, those are pretty much the best ways that I know how to make the builds right now. I think these builds will be really good for you to start off the year. I mean, I don't see any way where any of these builds will be bad. So that's just pretty much my thought process. But yeah, it's your boy Receiver FG, man. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment. I'm out. Peace.